everyone. Welcome back. In the previous episode, we talked about stress-free reading routine and the importance of choosing age-appropriate books for the budding readers. Young kids love storytelling. They themselves create many stories while explaining something. Storytelling opens up their imagination. Sometimes it takes them into a totally different wonderland. Obviously, it's in the storyteller's hand if they can take the kids into the storyland. Many times it happens that kids want a story but they don't want to read a book, or they don't want anything from the book. Rather, they need something fresh, something impromptu. But for us, it's a big question. From where to bring these fresh stories? I will share my tips and tricks on this topic, which is storytelling, in this episode. But before that, let me introduce myself to all the first-time listeners. I'm Alpana Dev. I'm your host. I'm a published author of The Girl in the New Town, a blogger at mothersgurukul.com, a freelance content creator, and a mother of two lovely kids who are my greatest source of inspiration for all my parenting posts, articles, and now podcast. Welcome to Mother's Gurukul podcast. Storytelling opens children's mind, unleashes their creativity, and deepens their understanding of other cultures and life philosophies. It develops the inner world of imagination and creative thinking. Last week, I got a chance of having a one-on-one conversation with my friend's daughter, who will be starting kindergarten soon. She was telling me how much she likes stories, and especially when her mom reads it to her. Obviously, when we read the stories to our kids, it has more expressions, it has more tone variation that makes it more interesting. But every time, kids are not satisfied with storybooks. As I said, many times they need a fresh content. Weaving magic with words and making up an interesting story is an art that we all learn over the period of time. If you are among those who are about to step into the world of storytelling, let me help you with a few ideas from my side that I've tried and that have worked for me. Art of storytelling, weaving magic with words. First thing I would do is relate your story with day-to-day events. There is a lot that happens throughout the day. So add some extra touches and you would be able to create a new story every time. Storytelling can be a way to get to know about your child's day. Maybe if your child has just started school, say preschool, so you can build a story around it, and this can also work when you are preparing your child for the new school. Maybe you can, just build up a characters based stories. Any character, maybe you can just pick their favorite cartoon character and build a story around it, as if the character is going to school and your child is also one of his friends, and how they go to school, what all they get to do at school, how school is fun. So when the child will actually go to school, the child can relate whatever is happening in the school to the story that he has already heard from you. The second thing that I would suggest is build story on imaginary characters. I do this every now and then, keeping the previous point in mind. Long time back, I told a story to my daughter about a girl somewhat of her age. I tried to end every chapter with a moral. The story had some facts that were similar to my daughter's activities and hobbies, like she learns dance. So I included a few facts that this girl in my story also goes to dance class, and how she practices every day and how it helps her in her performances. This way, she was able to relate the story and she would look forward to the next chapter. For me, it was easy as I was able to end the story whenever I wanted. Sometimes, bring few changes in your existing plan. Good movies come handy when you run out of the imaginary characters. What I do is, I retell the movie story in such a manner as if it'll sound like a story, and of course, I change some things here and there. For this, pick nice, good movies, what you feel confident about, and tell them in a story form. Your childhood stories. Stories can be a way to translate memories into more concrete manner. Kids love to hear what their parents have done and experienced while they were growing up. We think that there is not much to tell, but there are many such stories and incidences that our kids might like to hear. People of all ages love stories. Children are great fans of stories and love to listen to them. Any parent can preserve a few stories for kids and spend a bit of time with them in the storytelling session. So next time, when your kids wants a fresh story, try to build your own and relive your childhood memories with them. And yes, don't forget to ask kids to share their contribution in the stories. That way they feel involved and they participate in it. Now, when we are talking about stories, storytelling, or reading habits, physical books come into picture. Stories and books go hand in hand. But today, with Kindle or ebooks, physical books are losing its charm. Personally, I love physical books. I love the smell of fresh paper and the feel of the crisp pages turning in my hand. Today, everyone is so much dependent on technology that when I ask someone to read one particular book, they ask, is a Kindle version available? In fact, when I published my first book, since it was a children's book, I wanted to do both Kindle and paperback version. Few of my friends asked me, who reads paperback nowadays? Do just Kindle. It's easy. It's convenient. I know. But physical books still holds relevance in the era of the internet. When my daughter was young, I used to read bedtime stories to her. Later, when she started reading books on her own, we used to read together. It was a bedtime ritual for us. The smell of new books, feel of its crispy pages, going over the pictures as we turn the pages, all this is a part of reading. Now, as my son is growing and understanding things, we read his rhyme books, story books together. He points out to pictures and names the animals and places. Sometimes, just looking at the pictures, he builds up his own story. He calls it his abhyas, which means studies. We try to maintain this practice of reading a physical book. Since I'm into writing, they see me reading. And luckily, my husband also loves reading, so we make a good team. These kids are blessed and fortunate to be born in the digital world. Everything is available on the internet. They know we just have to name it and Google will do all the work for us and give us tons of information. No need to go over books and marking the paragraphs. It is good and time-saving too, but personally I feel physical books have their own importance, especially for kids. I have seen people hesitate in reading a book, but they are okay with going over 20 Google pages for searching for something. Especially when it comes to kids, physical books are a lot better than internet search or online books. First of all, one thing to cut down from their screen time. Kids nowadays are already doing so much of screen time that we can control at least one or two things. Then why not? Secondly, they can feel the book. What's a big deal about it, right? I feel when they hold a book and read, they can turn the pages and relate to the topic and relate it with any picture is related to that. No dependency on network or internet connection. Physical books do not require any internet connection. They are free from any technology dependency. Linguistically, physical books are a better option. When we read with our kids, there is a discussion, exchange of opinions, dialogue, which fosters vocabulary. It helps in their comprehension skills as well. Fewer disturbances in terms of ads and pop-ups. As a game plopped right in the middle of the story, then it's not offering you the same advantage as an old-fashioned book. Paper books help in reading retention. When we read online, we tend to skip sentences as we try to look for the keywords or bold or italic texts and simply make out the meaning of the sentences or paragraphs. There are few chances to skip this when we read a physical book. By talking about the relevance of physical book, I don't want to sound as if I'm against ebooks or Kindle. But I feel at least when our kids are at the growing stages, let us not make them habitual of screen, even for reading purpose. Let them enjoy physical books as long as they can. Eventually, they are going to get inclined towards Kindle. So, I hope you liked today's topic. In the next episode, we will talk about why boredom is important. Yes, why it is important for the kids to get bored sometimes and how to channelize kids' curiosity. Till then, stay blessed, stay happy. Happy parenting.